Hi, my name is Tia. Welcome to my channel, Nail Dip Studio. Normally, I'm behind the camera and you're just hearing my voice and you see my nails. But this time I thought I would get in front of the camera because I have a special announcement. So if you have not watched any of my previous videos, or you probably have because you're on my channel, so you know that I do dip nail tutorials. But I've also launched and started a dip nail company called Nail Dip Studio. Yay! So I started my company roughly about maybe 15 months ago, but I have not launched my actual online store. That won't happen until next month. So next month I will be dropping NDS Nail Dip Studio. I am going to release, I believe, maybe 30 shades. I have currently 45, but I think I'm going to release about 30 to start out with. And then I'll see how that goes. And then maybe I'll add the other 15 with the end goal of potentially having roughly about, I would say roughly about maybe 80 to 100 shades at any given time. I do want to come out with specific targeted nail collections, almost like, you know, high eyeshadows come out with like a different type of collection, a different kit. Like every quarter there's like a new, I kind of want to take that same approach with my business, but I'm excited. So this has been a labor of love. Like my videos, thank you first and foremost. Let me thank you for watching the videos because I think that that's very important. My channel is growing. It is a new channel, but it is growing, and I am very honored and thankful that you all just, come over, and watch my videos. You leave comments. I read the comments. I respond to the comments. I try to give informative videos, like step by step, so that even if you're someone that is new to doing your nails due to COVID, or if you're like myself, a retired nail tech, that you could come on my channel and sort of follow the steps and still get the end goal, that end result of having a professional looking overlay or dip set, right? So that was the goal of my channel. My channel was really, and the premise of my channel was really to educate, to inform, and to really show in detail how to do certain things, like little tips and tricks. Now, I want to touch on the fact that I am a retired nail tech. What I mean by that is, I taught myself how to do nails when I was 14. I'm 45 now, okay? So we're talking like 31 plus years going back is when I, taught myself how to do nails. And I did go to cosmetology school to learn. I wanted to know like the terminology. I wanted to understand how to use different tools. I wanted to understand the standards. So I went to cosmetology school specifically for nails at the age of, I think, like 19, maybe 19. So between the age of 14 and 19, I had clientele. Like I had, realistically, I think I was bringing in probably somewhere between $700 to $1,000 a week, just because I had girls and guys coming to get their nails done and or feet done. And so I was that type of nail tech, but I always kept a day job. Like I was always on the corporate side. So I had like this sort of dual work situation. So in the mornings I would go to work, 8:30 to 4:30 or something like that. And then in the evenings, I would take my first client at like 5:30. So I would have a 5:30, a 6:30, a 7:30, and I even had 8:30, depending on like your schedule and stuff. And then I would work all day Saturday, and then I had clients on Sundays too. And then I would cut my book off on Sundays at like 2. So just so that I could, recoup and get ready for the work week. So I've done nails full-time, part-time. I've done nails in a salon. I've been mobile. I've done nails in my home. I set up a little studio in my home, and I've always sort of had like a makeshift studio in my home, even though I would go and get my nails done sometimes. Like I would go and get, like I have a nail tech that I would frequent that's in the neighborhood. And I live in the DMV, born and raised in DC, Washington, DC, and I live out in Maryland. But I have a nail tech that's not far from my home where I would go to get my nails done. And what prompted this whole idea was like in 2018, the girls and I, we were headed to Vegas for a girls trip. We were doing our girls trip. This is something that we normally do, like an annual girls trip. So we were going to Vegas, and since we were in Vegas, we were also going to go to LA. So of course, you need your nails done. So I went, got my nails done. So my nail tech was like, Tia, you should try dip. She's been trying to get me to try dip. And I was just like, listen, come on, let's do it. I'll try it. Come on. Because I'm trying to go something new. I'll try it. So the concept of it all was very intriguing for me. Like when she brought it out, because I was like, okay, wait. Now, again, I've sat on both sides of the table. So I'm like, okay, walk me through this. So you mean to tell me the powder is already colored. So it's a color powder. Check. Okay, I got that. Now you're going to brush the adhesive, dip my finger, dust off the excess, brush the adhesive again, dip my finger. Do that a couple of times. File, buff me, seal me, and then I'm out the door. That's it? Okay, well, let's see. So she did it. And I love the experience of feeling like I gained 30 minutes, maybe 30, 40 minutes on the back end, because I don't have to get the gel overlay. I don't have to get my nails cured. I'm not doing the UV light and so on and so forth. So I thought, okay, cool, great, wonderful. So before we left, I was like, wow, that was nice. Let me find me a little kit so I can have at home, a little something so I can do my own little nails when I get back. Because again, I'm a retired tech. I always have a kit. If I break my nail at 10 o'clock at night, and again, I'm corporate. I'm on the corporate side. I'm in management. So if I break my nail, but I have a meeting and I'm presenting the next day, I'll get that right together. No problems, no worries. But this dip thing was like, wow, okay. I can do that. That's not even hard. Yeah, this is dope. Okay, let me find me a little kit. So I went looking for a kit. And one of the things that I noticed was that I'm the type of girl that I want to pick my own shade. Like, I just want to pick my own. Like, when specifically because I'm a woman of color, I'm a shift here. When I go to pick out eyeshadows, or eyeshadow kit, I like to have, I usually opt for warmer shades because it's going to be more flattering, at least for me, I feel, on my skin tone. So I opt for a warmer shade, a warmer kit. And I'm looking for specific shades in that kit. Like I need that transition color, because if it doesn't have a transition color for me, I don't want to get that kit, because I feel like that eyeshadow palette won't complement me. Like I'm going to have to still bring that single shadow to complement this 20-piece set that I'm good. I just give me one. I just need one little thing with everything that I need in that one. It could be 6 shades, it could be 9, it could be 4. But if they're 4 the correct shades, I'll get it. So I kind of started thinking about that when I started looking for a dip kit. And a lot of the dip kits that I saw, the shades were they were so generic. It was almost like, okay, we're going to give you a pink, a glitter, maybe a red, a deep red, a light red, a burgundy, or something of some sort. And maybe I'll give you like a neon shade, right? Or it was you can get the French. You can get a white, we'll give you a soft pink, and maybe like a medium pink. Maybe I don't want that. Maybe I want something different. And, or my biggest pet peeve was, or is, correction, is, I don't like it when dip companies combine the base coat with the top coat. Like it's one container. Like I want 2 different products. I want my base over here. I want my top over here. And I want to keep them separate, because what you do with the base is going to be totally different. The steps that you do in order to achieve the base for the powder to adhere are totally different than the steps that you would take with the top coat. Like the top coat is the finisher. Like that's it. Like you put the top coat on, you're sealed, you're done, you're ready to go. Versus the dip, versus the base. The base is actually coming in contact with that pigment. And depending on how often you're cleaning your brush, and or like for someone like me, this is a tip to anybody that's, interested in getting a kit, or if you have a kit, let me give you a tip. I would say make sure you have a liquid set dedicated to your light colors, and then you have a liquid set dedicated to your darker shades, like your darker or your reds. You need 2 different kits. And the reason for that is because your base, when you apply that adhesive and you dip and then you dust and then you apply that adhesive again and then you dip, that adhesive, that bristle on that base brush is going to come in direct contact with that pigment. And depending on what shade you're using, there is going to be a transfer, period. If it's going to be a transfer of some sort. Having 2 different liquid kits can save you a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of headache, because for me, I have a liquid set that I specifically use for my white shades. And what I mean by my white shades, let me show you. Sorry, I had to reach down to get like my stuff. Hold on. So, okay. So here's what I mean by like light or white shades. So anything like this, where you're dealing with whites, like this is, hold on, let me see if I can get the camera to act right. So this is like a tan, okay? This is a really, really pretty lilac. Okay, that's like a lilac. If you can see that, that's a lilac. This is a light yellow, okay? And then this is my white. This is what I currently have on now. It's snow, it's white. So for shades like that, I have a separate liquid kit. And I have that one marked, like I took some nail polish and put on the top, like black nail polish. So I took the caps at the top and I put like a black dot on each top cap, so that I know that that's for my lighter colors. And then like if I'm using a shade like, if I'm using something like a neon shade, like a neon orange or a neon pink, or even this actually is red. This is a red shade. It's not pink. This is actually red. Or even if I'm using this blue, this is sky, but sky, it's deep. It's a deep blue, okay? If I'm using darker shades like that, I am going to have my other kit. I'm going to use that, I have another kit that has like the red label on it, just so that I can, distinguish between which kit that I'm using for which product, if that makes sense. So like I said, if I'm using reds or something that potentially could transfer, I'm going to use the kit specifically for the darker shades. And then for my lighter shades, I'm using a different kit, just because I don't want that pigment to interfere with the top coat, right? Because if you've ever polished your nails at home with a red, and that red might have been semi-dry, right? It might have been almost dry, but not too much. It's semi. And you go and you put your top coat on top, and maybe a smidget, like once you wipe, you see a little streak of red on your clear brush, on your top coat brush. And then you take that brush and you put that brush into your container, and then you come back in a couple of days and that clear is now like this translucent pink. That is because that red nail polish that you accidentally transferred from your nail to the actual brush got into the clear polish, and now that clear polish is now has a red tint, and that red tint won't affect any shades that are red, purple, black, dark green, any of those shades on the opposite side. But it will definitely affect the way that you apply. It will definitely affect the appearance of and change the color of a white, a light pink, a light yellow, anything that's on the lighter side of the color scale. It will definitely have an effect. So that's just a little tip. If you I'll stop rambling now, but that was a little tip. So I'm coming out with my own brand, NGS. I'm so excited. This has been a labor of love. I have literally worked with a manufacturing company to produce my products for the last year. It was very important for me to get the right color payoff. I wanted the right grit for my powder. I did not want my powder to be like cream of wheatish. I didn't want it to be chunky and lumpy. I did not want that. I also wanted to have shades that could be considered classic, but I also wanted trendy shades too. I wanted the experience, especially with this whole thing of COVID, and now, part of the country is opening up. It may go close back up depending on if we get the second wave. I wanted a true home kit. Like, I didn't want the slogan, this is a home kit, you could do it at home. And then you get home and you literally need a industrial sander to like file your nails down because it's not moving. I didn't want that, and I was tired of experiencing that because I had bought several products from various beauty supply stores online, and it just didn't meet my standards. And I got tired of throwing away money. So I thought, let me create my own kit. Let me create my own product. Let me put that out there. My kits, the liquid kit comes in a bag like this. And in this bag, you get your buffer. Okay. I thought it was important to have a 100/180 buffer, as well as the 100/180 nail file. I thought that was very important because I feel like going anything past 100, so the lower the number, the grittier the file. The higher the number, the softer the grit is. Okay, so the 180 has a softer grit, and if you watched my videos, you've heard me say I'm going to switch to the 180 side. I rarely use the 100 side, but there are times where I will use the 100 side, especially if I have applied too much adhesive, and usually that's for tutorial purposes, like if I'm trying to show you how to work through a mistake, then I will use the 100 side, but for the most part I do the 180. I like having the 180/100 buffer because I feel like in some cases I can just use my buffer. There are a lot of times where I may not even use a file. I may just use my buffer, buff, hit the sides, shape everything up, and call it a day. You also get a brush, okay? And I'm gonna open this one up just to show you what the brush looks like. Now, I wanted a full-size brush. One of the things that irked me, if you will, is the fact that some of the kits, the brush that they sent or they send, it's almost like, you know how like you get blush from the drugstore, and the blush will have like that little brush thing that you put in your hand, and it's like you flick it like that. Well, the problem that I have with that is not everyone can grip that, right? Some people have issues gripping that type of brush. So I wanted something that would allow people to, if you want to lightly dust from back here, you can dust. If you want to use the center part, which is a little bit more narrow, you could. And if you need some extra width to really, you know, get and dust off your nails, then this was the brush that I thought, you know, I could kill two birds with one stone, because everyone is sort of getting a little something for themselves. And I also like the fact that you can just take it, especially if you're, you know, taking your kit with you, you can just squeeze the back. So it comes in this little netting, and you can literally just push the back in to the netting, put it up, pull it up, boom, slide it, bam, and it's like new, and it stays in shape, but you don't lose your shape. So that was another thing that was important to me. I also, I'm gonna put this over here, excuse me, there. I also included a cuticle pusher, right? I wanted you to be able to push your cuticles back if you're doing your manicure before you do your dip set. And I also wanted to create or to give you a stir, because I feel like sometimes you have to stir your powder around just to get like air pockets, and like sometimes depending on the temperature of your room, sometimes things can, you know, stick together. So I wanted you to have something that would allow you to stir your products around. Excuse me. The other reason why I wanted this, and let me show you, it has like a little like hook, like an indentation right here, right? Is if you're dipping your nails. So let's say, for instance, you're using your base and you're applying that base to your nail, and let's say some gets over here. Well, you can take this and come over here and scrape that off before you even dip your nail in. That's saving you one product. It's saving you time because you're not trying to file off, you know, this product that you've gotten on the side of your skin. You're not cutting yourself. You're not harming yourself. So I just thought that that would be really something cool. And I use this quite a lot when I am doing my nails or even doing someone else's nails. Again, it's very simple. You just use the sort of concave side, and if you get anything on the sides of your nail, you just wipe it off using this. Keep a little napkin next to you, you can wipe it off. But I thought this was actually handy. And then also in here you have the 5-piece liquid set, and I thought that that was beneficial. Okay, you have the 5-piece liquid set, and step 1 is your primer. Okay, step 2 is your base. Okay, that's step 2. That's your base. Okay, step 3 is your bond. This is what I like to call it, the bond. That's why I named it that, because it's not, it's create, you want that seal, you want that bond. Okay, step 4 is your top. You have a separate top coat. And step 5 is your brush cleaner. And this is something that I use. And remember, I told you I put the black, like, I was serious, I have different liquid sets. And so let me just show you what that looks like, what that brush looks like. Make sure I don't drip this in my carpet. But I wanted my bristles, I was really adamant about the way that the bristles were tied into the wand. I did not want the bristles to flare out. I wanted more control. I wanted them to be soft. I wanted the flow to be very even. So, and of course you get the drawstring bag. Now, my kits come in, oh, and this is another thing. Let me just make sure I'm pointing this out. I did not want each of my products come in a 1 ounce container. I was not doing the 1/2 ounce. I wasn't doing a 1/2 ounce. I felt like you need a full 1 ounce. You need, okay, let's do this. So these are all, I had to make myself a little color wheel. So these are like all my little shades and stuff, and the little names for them. So just for the sake of this conversation, okay? So this is a brand new, it's not open, it's sealed. All of the products come sealed like that. But I wanted to show you this because I think it's important, especially if you're someone who wears a longer nail. A 1/2 ounce, so half of this size, would literally take this to about where my thumb, will literally take this to about right here. Let me just, right there, where my finger is, right here, the top of my finger. That would be from here on up, would be 1/2 ounce. That would be 0.5 ounces, okay? Now, if you have this type of stiletto nail going in, you're only hitting that much of your nail. You're only really hitting that much of your nail. You haven't even touched the back, okay? One of the reasons why I opted for the 1 ounce is because I felt like you could put your whole finger in. You see that? You could put your whole finger in and get that coverage that you need with this type of nail, with this nail length. So that's why I opted for the 1 ounce. The 2 ounces will be available before the year is over with. That's the goal. But right now I wanted to at least start with the 1 ounce. I thought that that was important. I also thought it was important to have the 1 ounce because finger size is subjective to person. So if I have a longer nail bed, but I have small fingers. So for me, going in, I'm still here. I'm not even down here at the bottom touching the base of the container. I'm still somewhere up here when I dip in. And I think that that's important too, because if you are not thinking about everyone, because everyone doesn't have a small finger, like I can use the 0.5 containers, but I just I just didn't want to do that. Like I didn't want, I'm like, let me just give my people, the people that, you know, want to purchase from me, let me give them 1 ounce. It's like, I want to really give you your money's worth. Cause yeah, I don't want a 0.5 ounce. That's not what I wanted. I feel like this is the right time to release and start my company. And if you guys, I know I've been rambling now for about 30 minutes. So if you guys want me to start a new web series on this channel about starting a business, specifically starting a business and still maintaining your corporate job and being a woman over the age of 40, because I'm over 40, then I can do that. You know, just leave me a comment and I will try my best to, like, you know, make that a reality, because I think that it's important. I think it's also important that women that are over the age of 40 see other women over the age of 40 doing it. Like, you know, we're seeing the younger entrepreneurs, and it's amazing that they're doing what they're doing, but we can also do it too. It depends on how you structure your day, how you structure your life, and what you eliminate from your plate to make room for your new business. So if that's something that you all would like me to start to do, I can do that. Okay. The next video I think that I'm going to do will be probably me doing all 30 shades. That will be a part of my release. So really, I'll probably do each color, like a different color on each finger, just so that you can sort of see what that shade looks like. For shade reference, if anyone is interested, I am on Fenty, I'm 420. MAC, I'm NW45. But I just wanted to give you a shade reference. If anybody was, Black Opal, I am Hazelnut. So, you know, if you're interested, you know, in terms of like what shade, because sometimes, you know, the camera can play tricks. So if you're interested in seeing, knowing what shade I, you know, wear in terms of foundation, and then how that shade would apply to you depending on your shade. I just wanted to put that out there in case anybody was wondering, so that they can sort of see like, oh, I like that purple and she's kind of like my shade, so I can probably get that. We're not too far off. Boom, 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 boom. That's what that was for. What else? You know what? And thank you. Like, I just want to thank everyone. I'm going to start to get in front of the camera. I'm going to try my best to get in front of the camera. Like I said, oftentimes, if you're someone who has watched my videos, you know that you never see my face. You only see my hands and you hear my voice. But I wanted to get in front of the camera today just so that I can make that announcement that I'm launching my line. What's launching my line? Okay, I'm gonna bring it back. Okay. So yeah, that I think will do it for me. Again, nails have always been a part of my life. They've been a part of my life for the last 31 years. And I'm honored to have that mustard seed, you know, extended to me. I planted that seed. I did not worry about the soil. I did not worry about the water. God gave me the seed. And I have the mentality that why would he give me the seed if he wasn't going to provide the soil and the water? Like, that's just how I look at my life. And so, yeah, if you all want to see a little bit more from me, let me know and I can do that. But again, until next time, keep dipping, watch the videos, Leave your comments. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't followed me yet on Instagram, go follow me on Instagram because I'm going to be doing some big things. I'm trying to figure out too, once I actually go live with the store, I want to set up and do like, I'm gonna pick a day to actually do like a dip day. And what I mean by that is I'll probably do maybe 2 hours on IG live, and maybe the first hour or so I'll do either a wet or dry manicure. I'll probably do like a wet manicure on one hand, a dry manicure on the other, and then in the second hour start to do my dip application, and then you all could follow along with me and we can dip together, and you can sort of see in real time, you know, how I dip and how I'm using my products and stuff. And if you purchase the kit from me, you can actually just dip with me and we can just create these amazing tutorials, and I'll save them on my IGTV over there, and then yeah, I can still record videos over here on YouTube. So if that's something that you all would be interested in, let me know. Okay. But thank you so much for taking the time to hear me ramble. It was nice to meet you. It was a pleasure.